Hello, everyone. I'm Joseph Shane, IP Manager and member of Neonode's marketing team. Welcome to our webinar today, Switching to Holographic and Other Contactless Solutions for Safer, Germ-free Interaction. Today's webinar is designed to provide a clear understanding of how you can leverage Neonode's contactless solutions to bring your product to a new level of safe interaction, including how to design holographic and other contactless solutions, identify key suppliers and products optimized to work together, and fast-track prototyping and manufacturing. Assisting me today, Dr. Urban Purcell, CEO of Neonode, Johan Schwartz, our Vice President of HMI Products, Josephine Johansson, one of our customer support engineers, will be online during the entire session to answer any technical questions. Please click on the chat icon along the right panel of your screen, as Josephine will be streaming live Q&A over the channel throughout the webinar. In addition, at the end of the session, we will address some of the questions posed to us often in terms of frequently asked questions. Before we begin, I would like to recognize our partners in this webinar, DigiKey and Highline. They have done a really excellent job in getting the word out, and we really thank them for all their help. And now let me turn over to our CEO, Dr. Urban Purcell, to introduce our theme for today.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. The proverb, necessity is the mother of invention, has been the principal driver for many of the technology advancements that have changed and enriched our lives. Today, with the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, we are facing a health emergency of catastrophic proportions, and necessity dictates that we develop newer, safer ways to interact both with each other and also with the conveniences we use on a daily basis. To achieve this, companies around the world are scrambling to quickly develop new technology-driven products to guarantee a safe and secure future for all of us. Particularly in the realm of touchscreens and button interfaces, we are seeing numerous solutions on the market today, aimed at reducing contact using voice-activated controls, cameras for capturing gestures, and mobile phone apps, to name just a few. We at Neonode have developed C-Force, a proprietary IR-based touch and gesture sensing technology that supports the development of contactless touch solutions. The contactless touch approach preserves the familiar touch button and touch screen interfaces we have become accustomed to, but avoids the risk of spreading pathogens shared on physical buttons and screens. Contactless touch enables safe interaction with buttons, keypads, touchscreens, and also with holographic displays, literally turning the holograms into interactive touch displays. This webinar is devoted to contactless touch. Several things that we'll talk about are new and quite futuristic, like the interactive holographic displays. But in fact, you've probably already encountered Neonode's contactless touch technology without realizing it. Over the past 10 years, our customers have successfully incorporated our C-Force technology in 75 million products from leading manufacturers of automobiles, printers, e-readers, and other products. And after this webinar, we hope to see a rapid growth of products and applications using our proven and versatile C-Force technology from all of you joining this event. I'll be back later to wrap things up, but let me now turn this over to Johan Schwartz, who leads our business area HMI products. Johan will provide some technical background into how we achieve contactless touch and insights into how you can integrate it into your product. Johan?
Thank you, Urban. I'm really pleased to be here today and to have the opportunity to address all of you that are here, basically calling into this webinar. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let me first of all expand a bit upon Urban's final point. Neonode's optical C-Force technology comes in two main variants. The first we refer to as our blocking technology. This technology calculates touch locations by projecting infrared light beams across the display and detecting those beams that are being blocked. The illustration on the left shows an object being detected by blocking a light beam. In the illustration on the right, you can see how we provide beams in both horizontal and vertical directions in order to detect the object's two-dimensional or X and Y coordinates. We refer to the second main C-Force variant as our reflective technology. In this case, both the light emitters and the light receivers are positioned along one side of the surface covered. The sensor projects infrared light invisible to the naked eye across the surface to create a two-dimensional detection plane, and it then calculates exact two-dimensional coordinates of objects based on the reflections of the projected infrared light. Here is a video illustrating the principles of our reflective technology, showing the beams of infrared light and the reflections generated by the fingers moving into the detection zone. 3 years ago, we integrated our reflective technology into a self-contained embedded touch sensor module to make it easier and more economical to integrate into different systems and products. This touch sensor module is placed along the one side of the screen, providing a tremendous design freedom for integration into your own products and solutions. The touch sensor module can be positioned to direct its detection plane in any direction in relation to your product. So our touch sensor modules then come in 9 different standard lengths, ranging from 150 millimeters to 346 millimeters. We can also provide custom lengths on request. The touch sensor modules further come in 2 different variations, one with the flat 0-degree orientation of the detection plane as shown at the top right side of this slide. This variant is suitable for mounting on top of a panel or a surface. And one 90 degrees orientation of the detection plane as shown at the bottom right. This variant is suitable for side mounting and allows for a low profile streamlined look. The blue arrows that you can see on this picture indicates the direction of the detection plane. The NeoNode touch sensor modules connect easily to both embedded systems over ITC, as well as to computers running Linux, Windows 8.1, or Windows 10 or Android operating system, where touch coordinates data is transmitted over the USB HID protocol. These touch sensor modules are self-contained, as we said, easy to use and ideal for a variety of contactless touch solutions. Now, talking about contactless touch here, the easiest and most cost-effective way to implement a contactless touch solution is simply to take a touch sensor module and raise the detection plane above, or if there is a vertical screen in front of the display, resulting in the touch interaction area hovering above or in front of the display. We refer to this as a parallel plane configuration, where the detection plane lies parallel above the display. And voila, with one simple adjustment, you have just turned touch into contactless touch, and the potentially contaminated surface into a germ-free and absolutely completely interactive interface. So this works well with large buttons, touch interfaces, since even though the touches are recorded at the distance above or in front of the display, there is usually no problem of a parallax effect for the user to select an intended button. However, if you have a more detailed user interface with smaller icons, the user is quite likely to suffer from parallax effects. So under these conditions, then interaction with a projected in-air image provides an excellent alternative. This is what we call or refer to as a holographic configuration. Let's take a closer look at how this in-air display actually works. So on this slide, this illustration shows the working principle of touch-enabled in-air projection, or if you prefer to say an holographic display, with a Neonode touch sensor module. So portraited here as number 1, you have a display that is placed horizontally face up towards a 45-degree tilted projection plate, number 2 on the sketch here, that redirects then the light emanating from the display at an additional 45 degrees, creating the floating image, number 3, opposite the viewer, projected 90 degrees then away from the original screen. At the base of this floating image, you then mount Neonode's touch sensor module, which detects the user's in-air interactions with the projected image. So finally, if you have ever experienced a projected image like the one described here, the passerby cannot actually see the same projected image since they have a different viewing angle than the user have. So this is actually a real advantage if you use our solutions in an ATM application or any other application where the user actually needs to enter a PIN code. So basically, we can say that we have 2 popular ways of installing an in-air projection system. As we saw in the previous slide, the horizontal display on the left projected through a 45-degree tilted projection plate produces a vertical in-air projected or floating image. On the right-hand side, everything is actually tilted 45 degrees. So we see that then a display mounted at the downward 45-degree angle viewed through a horizontal projection plate produces an in-air projected image tilted 45 degrees to the user rather than 90 degrees. And the touch sensor modules integrate easily with those images floating in air. The only requirement is basically to mechanically align the detection plane projected from the sensor module along the same plane as the floating image. So now that we've seen how contactless touch solutions actually work, both in the parallel plane and a holographic touch configuration, how do we actually use this, or how can we apply that in real life? Well, for that, I'm going to hand back over to Joseph that will take you through a few illustrations. Thank you.
Thank you, Johan. Both the parallel plane and the holographic approaches are powerful, elegant, contactless touch solutions. The parallel plane approach is a simple, cost-effective solution that allows contactless interaction in public spaces. Let's take a look at a couple of examples. In this elevator button keypad, we inserted a touch sensor module along an edge to provide a detection plane above the buttons, making these now contactless. Here, we see a similar approach for a restaurant menu. By placing the sensor along an edge of the menu, we make the touch interaction area above the menu. And finally, in this ATM machine, we provided both the keypad and the screen with a contactless touch interface. In the next example, we mounted a holographic elevator button panel alongside the standard button panel. As you can see, there's no risk of touching any surface, and this keeps you free from contaminants. Here's a holographic restaurant menu. The menu is an in-air projected image, and selections are detected by the touch sensor module without any parallax effects. And finally, this ATM machine has a holographic keypad for entering PIN codes. This provides an added level of security as passers-by cannot see the keypad. Only the user can. There is a rapidly growing role for contactless technology that is both transformative and accessible. We are extremely proud that Neonode technology is a catalyst for making amazing new products possible. Here we showcase holographic systems available from 3 early adopters, eSpeed, Yesar, and Holo Industries. Both eSpeed and Yesar recently announced very large orders for in-car elevator button panels that will be rolled out in the second half of 2020. Overall, we're seeing tremendous demand for contactless touch solutions in multiple product categories. We're excited to see Neonode sensor modules are a key enabler for these exciting futuristic products. Getting your project started is a snap with our low-cost evaluation modules from DigiKey. Everything you need from an FPC cable connector to an interface board is included in the kits. There are kits with 1 sensor, and other kits available with 7 different size sensors. You can order them in any standard size and either in the 0-degree or 90-degree configurations. Those interested in holographic touch solutions will need to buy the holographic plate, also referred to as a projection plate, separately. Holo Industries, eSpeed, and Yesar are just a few examples of companies offering holographic projection plates, as well as fully integrated units, including the Neonode touch sensor module for elevator in-car keypads, kiosk and restaurant menu units, standalone PC demo units, and other applications. Neonode offers an Arduino-compatible prototyping board for fast prototyping with the Neonode touch sensor modules. This small form factor piece of hardware plugs directly into the connector pad of the touch sensor module and supplies all necessary electrical connections. After establishing mechanical and electrical connections, a developer can plug a standard micro USB cable into the adapter board and start working on the functionality with the mature Arduino ecosystem. Neonode also provides a software library, an SDK, to ease the job on Windows or Linux hosts, and an Arduino library for fast prototyping on microprocessors. Our software tools also include the Neonode Workbench for testing and configuring the Neonode touch sensor module in Windows, and we also offer extensive mechanical integration documentation, software specifications, code examples, and much more at support.neonode.com. To move your project to the next level, go to neonode.com, where you can find links to our local reps in your area, as well as technical documentation, software downloads, and much more. And now it's time for our frequently asked questions section. Josephine Johansson has been taking your questions throughout the webinar, and here she's provided us with a few of the most popular questions that we are often asked. Question 1, how accurate is the touch sensor module? The touch sensor module reports touch coordinates with a resolution of 0.1 millimeters and is accurate to within 1.5 millimeters. You can see the touch sensor module specification for more details. Question 2, how do I get started with the touch sensor module? If you've already purchased a touch sensor module from DigiKey, we have a few get started guides and example programs that you can use to get started right away. When connecting the sensor through USB HID transport to a Windows machine, the sensor will naturally be recognized as a touchscreen digitizer by plug and play. If you would like to configure the touch sensor module, you apply the configurations using our Workbench application or our example SDK. We also have an Arduino library with a few examples for I2C transport. The structure of the communicated data is defined as ASN.1 notation. Question 3. What information can we get from the touch input data? When touch input data is reported to the host, it includes a touch ID, event information, position data, and a size estimation of the touch object. And finally, question 4. What other applications can I use the touch sensor module for? Today, we looked at several contactless touch products, including elevators, menus, and ATMs. And there are many other possibilities like vending machines, self-checkout terminals, check-in terminals at airports, and many others. In addition, there are numerous applications where the touch sensor module can be used, for example, to detect in-air wave gestures with high precision, as well as providing touch and gesture functionality on natural materials such as wood and leather. And now I'd like to welcome Urban back to the stage for some closing remarks.
Thank you all for joining this webinar. We hope that you have learned a lot about contactless touch and gotten inspiration for new products and applications. Our main focus today was our standardized touch sensor modules that are easy to use and allows for development of new cool applications in a very short lead time and with small efforts. However, we at Neonode also work with bespoke solutions based on our C-Force technology. And I want to stress here that should you be interested in this, don't hesitate to reach out to us via sales@neonode.com. Thank you again for joining and stay safe.